If I eat the same amount of protein, can I put on the same amount of muscle in a caloric deficit as I would in a caloric surplus? This is in response to the video I made indicating that we do have studies that demonstrate that body recomposition is possible even in trained female physique athletes. These individuals can lose fat and build muscle at the same time. However, this is driven by a higher protein intake. The reason for this is because the combination of resistance training and protein intake are the two predominant driving factors for muscle growth. But does that mean that calorie intake doesn't matter? There was recently a pilot study looking at this question. 11 male bodybuilders were randomly assigned to one of two groups: a high or moderate energy intake. They performed resistance training 6 days per week for 4 weeks. As expected, the group with the higher energy intake ended up gaining much more body fat. However, they did also gain a statistically significant greater amount of muscle, a little more than twice the amount of muscle over the 4-week period. A second study that is worth highlighting looked directly at protein synthesis following an energy deficit versus an energy surplus. 8 men and 4 women participated in a 20-day, 2-phase diet intervention, either consuming a weight maintenance diet or an energy deficit, but consumed the exact same amount of protein. They found that in an energy deficit, muscle protein synthesis was about 19% lower compared to weight maintenance, indicating the actual process of synthesizing muscle proteins was reduced when an individual was in an energy deficit. Both of these studies indicate that energy intake is also a driving factor for muscle growth. It is likely less important than exercise and protein intake, but it still is a driving factor. This is likely due to multiple reasons. During an energy deficit, our insulin levels are typically lower. Insulin plays a crucial role in inhibiting muscle protein breakdown, as well as increased muscle protein synthesis. Therefore, by lowering insulin, which does allow us to lose fat, we may also be predisposing ourselves to more muscle loss. Calorie restriction also typically decreases testosterone, which has a primary function for increasing muscle protein synthesis and inhibiting muscle protein breakdown. Conversely, we see increases in cortisol, which has the effect to induce muscle protein breakdown. We also see rises in glucagon, which further inhibits muscle protein synthesis. However, there is a final very important point. Obesity also alters muscle protein synthesis. Obese individuals appear to be resistant to the anabolic action of exercise and protein ingestion. Therefore, if you are carrying excess adiposity, then losing weight may actually improve your capacity to put on muscle. Therefore, the reduced muscle growth seen in an energy deficit may only apply for those with normal or subnormal adiposity levels, because their adiposity is not impeding their capacity to build muscle. The takeaway from this is that if you are in an energy surplus, you will likely put on more muscle, but you will also almost assuredly put on more fat. And in the process of losing this fat, you may also lose some of the additional muscle that you were able to put on. Therefore, in the grand scheme of things, the choice is likely yours. But it is true that protein is one of, if not the most important driving factor, along with resistance exercise. With that being said, if you would like an individualized approach to your nutrition and lifestyle to optimize your health, energy, and body composition, send me a DM to sign up for coaching.